Please take a seat. No photography in the courtroom, Mr. Kefauver. All witnesses are present. The jury's been seated. Court is now in session. On the night of Thursday, September 26th, at 9:26 p.m., security cameras caught only a glimpse of an immense tragedy. Our beloved school mascot, Speedy, was thrown from the top of the media building. He died instantly. Security footage from that night was conveniently cut shortly thereafter. However, the building logs show that all three of you were present in the media building that evening. One of you is responsible for his murder, and I intend to find out the truth. I call the first witness, Horace Kefauver. Please step forward. Horace, in your own words, what exactly were you doing the night of September 26th?
Look here, you want me to spill, I'll spill. Listen, I'm a newsie. Every month I head up to the copying room, same time, same place. Never seen anybody else in the joint, though. At least not at that time of night.
Always there alone? Sounds convenient.
Sure wish I could have had a couple of goons there to help me out, but, well, it's my last issue on the paper. I've been working hard surveying the media students on their experiences here. I didn't trust anyone else to do the job. It's tough work, you know, printing these papers. But I'm telling you, I didn't bop Speedy.
Most nights, it's quiet enough in there to hear a pin drop. As I was getting those copies folded and ready to go, I hear this great hullabaloo coming from downstairs. Some tunes, I didn't really care. A bit of a pain, but I kept doing my job. All of a sudden, it's louder in there than the polo when Bobby Thompson edged out the Dodgers in the 9th inning. So I book her for the stairs, give whoever's blasting that a piece of my mind. When I get down there, though, I realize it's coming from the dance hall. Inside, no one to be seen. Looked like foul play, though, I'll tell ya. I snapped a photo of the scene and left the dance hall to go back to my work, but before I got to the stairwell, I saw someone go back and come out again with a bag and jacket. I saw them head to the door and leave.
Everything else went on as normal after that. I finished my work, grabbed the papers, locked up, and look here. I've got the photos to prove it.
See, look, today's paper.
Thank you, Mr. Kefauver. You may sit down now. You might be surprised to know that one of your fellow suspects is in fact enrolled in the school's dance course. Next witness, Charlie Johnson. Please step forward.
Wait, witnesses or suspects? Who's really on trial here?
You heard him. She's guilty as sin. Let him just get this over with already.
That judge didn't say that anybody here was guilty. The verdict can't be that she's guilty. She hasn't even taken the stand to testify yet. And that picture of the paper you showed us, it could have been taken any time that night.
Charlie Johnson, in your own words, where were you the night of our beloved Speedy's demise?
It's true. I was in the dance hall the night of September 26th. I was trying to rehearse a piece for an audition because I've got to get out of this place, this school. This audition is my ticket out, away from all the nasty roommates and the moldy dorm room windowsills and this musty school's reputation that's sure to follow me around the rest of my life if I stay here and let it. And I can't let it. So, I found a way out. To be a dancer for Fantastica, the acclaimed traveling performance troupe. From place to place, all over the nation. Not a moldy dorm room windowsill in sight. A real dancer. That's what I'll be. You know, my mother always told me that I would never...
Johnson! What time exactly did you arrive at the media building on September 26th?
Like I said, I was in the media building last night to rehearse for my audition. I got there at 8:50 p.m. The building was quiet. I didn't realize that anyone else was in there, let alone that a brutal murder was about to take place. I started the music and began to warm up. Nothing out of the ordinary, but once I began to dance, the world slipped away. Dancing is how I process. Some people go to therapy, some people annoy their baristas, but I dance. My many troubles running through my body all bubble out. But suddenly, I see something out of the corner of my eye. A tiny red dot of light and a shadow standing behind it. I feel violated and intruded upon. Am I being recorded? I stopped dancing. I see the person who was recording me exit the dance hall, and before I could make out the figure, the door closed behind them. I turned up the volume and decided to follow them.
Turn the volume up? Loud enough to mask the sounds of something else, perhaps?
No. Well, yes, sort of. I thought that the music might serve as a way to cover up the sounds of my tracking the intruder. I exited the doors of the building and saw them rounding the corner of the next building over. It wasn't worth it to follow them any further. They just slinked off into the woods, for all I know. I turned around and went back to the dance hall.
It couldn't have been me. It must have been whatever weirdo was watching me. Hang on a minute. What are we actually talking about here? Speedy is a school mascot. He isn't a real person. It's ridiculous that we're having this trial in the first place.
Hang on. I've seen you before. Yeah, the height is right. You were the one recording me that night.
Bumbling buffoon!
You were watching
You
me while I
absolutely
danced.
never-
How creepy is that?
You
How can you
can't
raise
even
your
go
son
on.
people like that? A liar and a murderer.
Willow Everett, you were seen.
Allegedly seen.
You were seen on the night of the 26th, recording others without their consent, as we've just heard from Miss Johnson's testimony. Care to present us any other evidence that you weren't involved in any illicit activities? Murder, perhaps?
I couldn't have murdered Speedy because Speedy is 4 yards of fabric sewn together into a humanoid atrocity. Putting aside the fact the burden of proof in any normal trial is on the prosecution, I'm pretty sure I couldn't have murdered him if I tried.
So you did try to murder Speedy?
No, I couldn't have murdered Speedy. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
What other reason could you possibly have for your suspicious appearance in the dance hall that evening?
That accusation is completely unconnected to the topic at hand.
I'm connecting it, Mix Everett. You've just put yourself on the record as downplaying the severity of this act of murder. Combined with your reluctance to provide testimony, I can't say you're making a very compelling case for your acquittal.
You can't make that connection without...
This is my courtroom, and I'm certainly not going to allow some stoner, soon-to-be dropout, to dictate the rules around here. Now, if you have nothing else to add, we're moving on.
Wait! I can give you a full count of everything that happened that night. I've been working on an independent project concerning the culture of arts in higher education. It's a shame what goes on here. The spaces in the media building that all go unused or barely used. The resources here are practically wasted, day in and day out. Good thing that they don't spoil, otherwise we'd have rotten room after room after room. There are students here who long to be trained in their passion, but with no curriculum to support them. Film students who want to learn new ways to explore the world's stories through media. Actors who want to show audiences what it means to perform. Musicians who want to study their instruments and let the music envelop their lives, and what happens when they come here. To these empty halls of the arts annex in the media building, to the promise of freedom that this school presents, they get here and flounder. Their dreams either fade or they leave. I want to keep those dreams alive. I don't want to see these people give up, so
that gives you license to record your fellow impassioned art students without their consent.
it's not like that. I needed to capture real elements to convince the audience of the stories that go unnoticed here. Someone who dances like that, who knows what kind of performance I would have gone if I had stopped her and chatted her up before hitting that record button. People act differently when a camera is pointed at them. That's why I had to go to the media building at night when no one, or I thought no one, was around.
That still doesn't account for where you were at the time of death. All we've heard is that you ran off. Ran off where? To cut the security feed, maybe?
You clearly did it.
Now hold on, you can't go jumping to that conclusion without any evidence. Horace, you didn't even have an alibi. All you said was you saw foul play. When was this foul play exactly?
Listen here, you schmuck. I was out of there well before any of this happened. You were the one who was shifting around all sneak-like.
Hang on. They're right. You didn't have a real alibi, Horace. How do you expect us to believe that you're the innocent one here? All you said was you saw me leave, but nobody saw you get out of there, did they?
What else was I supposed to include in my testimony to convince you people that I didn't do it, huh? What about you, Charlie? What's your real alibi? You said you went back into the media building, grab your things, and leave. When did you really leave, After you murdered Speedy?
How dare you accuse me, you news rat? I left after I saw a creep filming me. That's all I did, and that's not a crime.
Will you stop calling me a creep? I was trying to create a piece of art. And that's not a real alibi either, Charlie.
I don't have to have an alibi. I'm not a creep.
Of course you need an alibi. This is a murder trial.
No, she's right. Why would she need an alibi?
Because this is a murder trial.
For a school mascot, he isn't a real person.
Wasn't a real person. He's dead now.
Order in the court! Order in the court!
This isn't a court of law. None of us have an attorney. This is the old TV studio that no one ever uses.
Silence! We will now consider our verdict.
Willow.
The jury has decided on the charge of orchestrating the demise of Speedy the mascot. The jury finds Horace Kefauver, Charlie Johnson, and Willow Everett guilty.
What? I can't be guilty. I didn't do it.
I'm not guilty. I was seen leaving the building. What more evidence can I give you?
What about the photo evidence, huh?
Your associates said it themselves. That photograph could have been taken at any time that night. It's not admissible evidence.
The clock tower. Look at the time. You're right, Horace, but not for the reason you thought. This photo couldn't have been taken any time that night because you took it in front of the clock tower. The time reads 9:25. There's no possible way you could have gone standing in the middle of Red Square, right in front of the clock tower, to the top of the media building in 1 minute.
And if I was out of there before then, and I did see Charlie leave,
Then none of us could have been on the roof.
Why did we come here? Because of a letter? What do you think they're going to do to us? There's no real authority at this school.
I want to thank the three of you for coming in today. You've been a great help in this ongoing investigation. You may leave now.
But
You may leave.
that's it?